Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's your boy GrandmastaJ, and today is another episode of Why Nobody Plays. And in this episode, we will be talking about Baiken. See, Baiken was released as the 4th DLC character of Season 1, and although she's a fan favorite, like quite literally, like when she dropped, everyone was excited. Of course, even though she's a fan favorite, not a lot of people play her, and so we're gonna kind of dive into why that is. And funnily enough, it's not even just that people in the pro scene don't really play her, but beginners don't really play her like that. Celestial people don't really play. She's very underrepresented right now. And to be honest, like, even just the research for this character was a little difficult because, like, nobody's playing her. Like, I don't know what the frick is going on. With all that said, let's start with why would you play her? So, first and foremost, there's the obvious thing, right? The character design. She's a very cool looking character. She's a very cool looking character, right? I mean, like, you know, there's definitely a type. Another reason is that you really like jumping. Like, she's definitely like an air movement character. If we would take a peek over here at the hitboxes for these jump normals, they are quite ridiculous, just to say the least. Not only that, but she also has Tatami Mat, which is able to kind of like, you know, establish, or I mean, honestly, use it defensively, to kind of like further cement herself as like this air warrior. Baiken also has this parry, which is surprisingly very good. So this parry alone, honestly, kind of makes it so that you have to fight her in a very particular way, right? It comes out frame 1 through 7, and it is, to my knowledge, the only reversal that allows you to automatically option select 2 options. So you see, if I activate it, then it hits, but if I don't activate it, then she's just able to PRC it. Not only that, but if you take a look, this parry does mad damage. Yes, it does like 100 base damage to Kai, and so on Baiken is like 111. It does a lot of damage, which is pretty relevant in some matchups, as we'll see later. She also has some incredibly strong mix-ups with this move, Yozansen, which is essentially like a huge staple of her pressure game, right? It's just a super fast instant overhead that she can also mix into a low, right? Creating this pretty messed up high-low situation. She also gets mix-up off of her throw, so I can either stay in front after it, or I can, whoop, that was still in front, or I can cross over. Now, of course, like, look, I got baby mode mix-ups, but better Baiken player would mix the fudge out of you. So. And in Season 3, I think it was in Season 3, but definitely in Season 3.5, they also gave a buff to her throw where if you have this tether on your opponent, you're actually able to hold your throw and get a full combo from it meterlessly, which is extremely rare for a lot of characters. Another thing that really stands out about her is this claw. Kabari is a very good neutral tool that, I mean, like, look at this thing. And this is all disjointed too. Like, look at this stupid hitbox. It is looking quite dumb. Like, you can't hit none of that. But yeah, Kabari is used in a lot of different ways. Specifically, well, I mean, it's mostly just used as a very strong, like, neutral pressure tool, because you can hit your opponent from like this far. And also, if you're really cracked like me, you can actually react to it. So check this out. I do not have old man reactions. Check that. Hey. So it's actually very safe. It's actually surprisingly safe. Even though, even if you don't necessarily react to it, there's a lot of mind games that you can play with Kabari. For example, the follow-up is only -7, so unless your opponent's like on top of their game or like really paying attention, it's actually surprisingly hard to punish. And that's important because if your opponent does try to, in fact, take their turn on Kabari, you can actually just parry them, right? So they don't really want to be eating Kabari into a parry. Oh, hold on, I can do it. Oh my gosh, it's actually surprisingly not that easy. And I messed up the combo, but you get the idea. She can also put you in a pretty uncomfortable space trap where, like, even if you wanted to mash out, you kind of have to like choose which ones to mash, and sometimes if you're too slow, she can kind of take her turn on you, and she can also just kind of let it rip. And now you're going to be taking mad damage. She also has this cheeky, although a little bit less useful, like dash through, which can, like, as a mix-up tool, it's okay. But you can only really get a throw if you're, like, you know, pretty close. It's all right. It's okay. It exists, and like people have used it for different reasons, but that's neither here nor there. But now we went over the good and why you'd kind of want to play the character, but now let's get into the bad, and starting with her matchups. Now, Baiken is actually really bad against characters that have very good neutral and characters that are also partially zoners. And we'll kind of dig into this later, but some notable ones are Nago. She has a very hard time getting in on Nago. Sol and Kai surprisingly are okay. Actually, Sol is a little bit even, but he does a lot of damage. We'll get into that. And Kai, like, because he's able to set Fireball, that's another thing. Any character that is able to pressure you with a projectile, she struggles against because she can't just parry willy-nilly. That's a huge part of her game, since it just does so much damage. It's more than just a reversal. But yeah, like characters like Kai, characters like Zato, Happy Chaos, Ino does okay against her, but even like characters like Bedman and Asuka, she really struggles against these characters, and we'll go into why. So reason number one is that Baiken actually kind of explodes. Like, her health is not, it's not horrible, but as you can see, even a combo like that, like she took way more than half health. And even if we got into something a bit more optimal, or like something a bit more like, I guess, uncomfortable for you, that's a lot of damage. Now, this wouldn't be too bad if her run speed or walk speed was better, but surprise, surprise, it's actually not great. It's okay. Like, she's not winning any awards with it, but specifically her walk speed is pretty bad, which is kind of relevant to her game plan, as we'll kind of get into later. She kind of has a hard time moving around, except for like jumping in on you. Like, that's honestly her fastest option, which, I mean, granted, it's a pretty good option, but that also leads into our next issue, is that her neutral is kind of bad. And what do I mean by bad? It's not that she has bad buttons, no. It's more so that she kind of can't do anything from her buttons, right? Like, even if I wanted to do this, that doesn't combo, right? Like, if I wanted to do this, oh, that doesn't combo either. If I wanted to do that, that doesn't combo either. Like, what the frick is going on? Well, let's kind of get into what constitutes as good neutral, because just because I'm able to hit you with a button doesn't exactly mean that I have good neutral, right? Like, if Nago, say Nago had his 5H, right? He could swing 5H at you all day long. If he just had 5H, would that mean he has good neutral? Well, if he wasn't able to do anything off of it, people might argue no, because what, he just has a big swinging bat that he can't really do anything off of. He can't Fukyo forward, he can't do Fukyo back, he can't Beyblade. No, you can just jump over it, predict it, and then that's it. And so the issue is kind of the same with Baiken, or it's kind of similar with Baiken, where that Baiken's buttons are pretty good. Like, they're not horrible. I mean, granted, they're even like buttons like these do kind of stand out. You're like, oh man, this button's so good, or oh man, like this button's like, actually people are saying that button's really bad. But if I can't do this consistently, if I can't confirm off of it without like, even like, it doesn't even combo into Blue Wild Assault. If I can't combo off my buttons or confirm into my game-winning situation, then the neutral's bad, brother. Like, it's just bad. And so what happens is that the reason why you see a lot of Baiken players jump all the freaking time is because, quite frankly, this is her best tool. This is just her best neutral tool. It travels like nearly full screen, right? She's able to kind of combo off of it into a sort of a knockdown situation, right? You know, that's all she really has. That's kind of whack. It makes for a character whose overall game plan is very inconsistent. And now we can finally ask the question of, why does nobody play her? Well, I would like to show you guys something. If you would take a look over here, we're gonna look at this match, which I was watching for my research, and I just want to point out something. So we're just gonna watch the whole round through and through, okay? Okay, gets a hit, knocks down into left right. Okay, gets 2D, not able to combo off it. Gets tether, pretty good. Puts the opponent in a tether situation. Nice, and then May kind of, she's running back. All right. Neutral's a little interesting. That was a very good combo. Didn't do a lot of damage. Tried to kill, didn't kill. Tethered up. Gets clipped by the Mei, doesn't have resources. Kind of has to hold that. Runs out. Mei slides in the DMs. Boom. All right. Gets a throw. And he dies. Okay, why the frick did I show you that? Well, let's ask the question, how did the Baiken player get these hits, right? So if we start back from the beginning, not to make this a whole replay review, but the Baiken player hits her a couple times. I believe it was like I don't even know. Gets the first kabari, right? Goes into a left right. This is a left right. The main player just blocks it well, right? Goes into technically a high-low. I don't know. The main player didn't need to block this, but gets the sweep and goes into kabari. The kabari misses, right? Like, so he doesn't get a combo off his pressure. The kabari misses, and you could debate that he could do tatami, but at that range, tatami would have hit, and then kabari would have missed. So, anyway, gets the mix, applies tether, right? And so now he gets his second hit from a scramble, right? So they're scrambling, and then he hits him from there. Plays a little bit of neutral. Notice he's not throwing out a whole lot of buttons in neutral because his far slash is not that good, and his 2 slash is pretty darn slow, and his 2H is really, really bad as well. So he's kind of throwing around some mats, trying to play around some mats, ends up getting the mat, so this is very good defensive play. Gets this confirmed, right? But he's not able to kill from it, and then even has to use resource to finish the combo from it, right? Uses half a burst just to get the combo from it. Gets a mix-up. The mix-up is blocked. Gets the throw. Honestly, if you press 6H, you might have died. But then, yeah, whatever. And then messes up. And then has to kind of scramble, but Mei has better buttons in this situation, better damages, better confirms, and then literally, look, Mei did more damage than her from the straight hit than Baiken ever did. The point that I'm trying to make, before this drags on too long, the point that I'm trying to make is that Baiken's game plan is, it feels very inconsistent, and 2, it's very resource intensive. I would like to talk about win conditions, okay? And we're gonna go back to the character select screen to kind of talk about this. So what exactly is a win condition? Well, when you play a fighting game, you're trying to play around your character in their best state. For example, if I go over to Nago over here, what would you say Nago's win condition is? Well, as a Nago main myself, the idea is you want to get right next to your opponent in order to enforce a very strong and impressive strike throw mix-up. And his tools, for example, Beyblade, for example, his DP, for his clone, Fukio, these tools allow him to put himself in that situation and capitalize off them very well. Let's go over another character. Kai. What's Kai's win condition? Well, Kai, he wants to knock you down and set up to a point where he puts you in shock state so that there's a lot of strike throw characters in Guilty Gear, so that he can run his strike throw mix. But if he hits you the next time from that strike throw mix, which his strike throw is very good because his run speed is very good and his walk speed is also very good, he's able to get big damage off of it, off of guessing right. But his tools allow for him to do that. He's able to combo off of his far slash very well. He's able to knock you down with 2K2D into a fireball, and like he has fireballs as well, like that allows him to control neutral. Now let's bring it back to Baiken. What exactly is Baiken's win condition? Well, you might think you want to get tether on your opponent because that's where Baiken is the strongest. That is true, but it also is where the opponent's the strongest, because your opponent can also, if it backfires and they hit you, they get a better combo as well. So like, I remember back in the day, you know, on Twitter, there was memes where Baiken would put tether on the opponent and then the opponent would do a combo and then they would get a better combo than the Baiken player ever could. Okay, whatever. Well, Baiken's a strike throw character, right? So she's able to get a lot of mix-up off her throw, so you really want to run a decent strike throw mix-up. That's okay, but like her strike throw situations, although very comparable to Leo, actually, let me demonstrate that. So funnily enough, Baiken and Leo have a very, very similar tool where they have a 5K into a 6K. Both are slightly advancing, although some's are a bit more slightly than others. So they can run this sort of like will I, won't I kind of situation of, I'm not going to throw you, or I'm going to throw you here, or I'm going to throw you here, or you kind of get the idea. The thing is that Leo just does this so much better, right? Because, well, for starters, Leo's run speed and walk speed are faster, right? Especially like kind of up close. Also, his 5K is advancing. Like, yeah, Baiken's is advancing, but is it really advancing? Is it really advancing, right? Also, let's look at the reward on hit. Oh snap, I hit him. Nice. Okay, that wasn't too bad. What does Leo get? Oh, hey, wow, look at that. Not only did I get a full combo into a hard knockdown, sure, Baiken got that too, but she didn't get the Oki situation. She didn't get the mix. She didn't get the win condition, right? So now she has to hit the opponent again, right? It's like, okay, she has to hit them for a second time, although she already got the hit that she needed. There's something called two-step characters, right? Where essentially I need to perform step 1 in order to get high rewards off step 2, right? Problem is, in Baiken's case, sometimes the first step doesn't work. So as a two-step character, they are already working from behind because they already have to hit the opponent. But if Baiken hits the opponent, sometimes it doesn't even matter. So And so now Baiken is in this really bad place where new players are pretty turned off by her difficulty, because it is quite difficult to kind of keep track of all the things that you're supposed to be doing. I just want to press A, B, C, right? Why can't I do that, right? I can do that with Leo, A, B, C, right? So she's not an ABC character, so new players are kind of turned off from her, and pro players are turned off from her because, bro, I just want to confirm from my far slash. Why can't I do that? Why doesn't this combo? What the frick? What's going on here? Why do I have to burn meter in order to get this when Leo can dead just do this and then gets the exact same thing, right? See, fellas, consistency is not just for the pro players, right? We're not consistency snobs, right? Consistency also matters for low-level players or mid-level players, because if you feel as though your character is working against you or you have to work harder, it just doesn't feel great. I mean, she doesn't even do that much damage off the stuff that she does do. Sure, sometimes if she cranked the risk high enough, she does make you explode. Sometimes, most of the time, not really, especially from the hits that you're getting, because she's over here swinging at you anyway with all these, you know, bunch of moves and, you know, getting these straight hits that she can't even convert off of. Anyways, guys, if you like the video, please consider dropping a like. If you disagree with me in any way, please put down in the comment section down below as to why. If you feel like I missed anything, put that also in the comment section down below. And this is why nobody plays Baiken. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.